Good morning.
Okay, so they found, apparently down in Floyd County, Georgia, they realized that somebody did not upload from a memory card or memory stick something like 2,600 votes. They say it's human error. Does that change anything for the Trump camp?
Well, this continues to prove what we've been saying all along, that each step we take to protect election integrity, if it's this hand recount in Georgia where all of a sudden they have found 2,600 additional votes, that's 2,600 Georgians who almost didn't have their voice heard in the presidential election. This is another step toward us being able to make sure that this is a free and fair election, that we can trust the results. And while some members of the mainstream media and Democrats want to say this is done and over with, not only did we find those 2,600 votes in Georgia, there were 8,000 additional new votes counted in Pennsylvania yesterday. This is still very much ongoing. And on behalf of President Trump and the campaign, the millions of Americans who voted for him, we want to make sure we get this right.
Right. I saw that the president tweeted out that there was a big victory in Clark County in Nevada because a county commission seat for District C, they were 10 votes apart. And there were some discrepancies, so they decided to look at the options about perhaps rerunning it. The president says that's a big victory. How does that impact the presidential race? Because the way we read it, President Trump is still trailing by 33,000 in Nevada, whereas this particular case applies to these 10 votes in that one race.
Well, there were 153,000 votes cast in that one race there in Nevada. And what we saw opens up the questions that we have been asking. If there are instances of fraud, if there are discrepancies, if there are irregularities, we should be looking into those.
When the Secretary of State's office says Floyd County elections workers failed to upload a memory card on election night, that memory card holding around 2,600 votes. The first sign of this problem came up during the current statewide retally. Again, nearly 2,600 votes left out of the count, and about 800 of those votes net went to President Trump, cutting President-elect Biden's multi-thousand vote lead here in Georgia only slightly. Floyd County believes a faulty scanner was to blame. Election official Gabriel Sterling said a person didn't do their job properly. He is now calling on Floyd County Election Director Robert Brady to step down as the Secretary of State's office investigates.
It's a big error. That's something that it's really it's rudimentary. It's not something that shouldn't happen, but it did.
And we're just now learning that Congressman Doug Collins is blaming Secretary of State Raffensperger, pointing to the top of the food chain, if you will, here. Secretary of State's office said they've been trying to get in touch with Floyd County elections officials to no avail. The elections director is under quarantine. And so a lot of finger pointing going on. The blame game still ongoing as this investigation into this vote count continues.